So the other day, there was a little bit of a weird situation at a Ohio high school. Now, to start off, the kid in this situation is an 18-year-old, which means that he is legally an adult. I want that in everybody's back of their mind, because while this situation doesn't look good, he's still within his rights. And that's one of the problems in this country right now, is that rights are not being respected. So the actual body cam footage of this video is pretty long, so I'm gonna break it down just so everybody knows where we're at in this video, because it's just pretty outrageous. This kid is scared of someone coming into a school and shooting it up. That is a fair fear. That's not some random thing where someone just came up with it and they're like, no, it's not a big deal. No one else shares this fear. No, a lot of people probably have that fear, especially because schools are continuously not being addressed as far as how locked down they are. Now, before we get any deeper into this, I want to thank today's sponsor, Blackout Coffee. They've been a longtime supporter of the channel. Amazing coffee and strong Second Amendment supporters. My favorites are Brutal Awakening and Irish Cream. They got a bunch of different kinds. Dark, medium, light, and even better, they send 2 cups of coffee for every bag sold to our active military. So they legitimately give back, and you can still become a part owner of Blackout Coffee. Over 2,000 people are part owners. They've raised almost $2 million, and it's honestly awesome to see that much support. So we're putting a discount code in a link below the video. Go try some amazing coffee and possibly become an owner of Blackout Coffee. So let's just start the video here. What happened was apparently somebody found a live .22 round in the school. And of course they all freaked out. That's fine. I mean, that makes sense. If there's just a bullet laying on the ground in a high school, that's a little bit of a cause for concern. So they call the cops, they pull every single student out of the class, and they search everyone.
Just minutes into the search, body camera video shows 18-year-old junior Nolan Rosen approach officers, asking whether they've recovered a bullet. Quickly, Rosen says he's not a school shooter.
It's about a bullet you found on the gun, right? Oh, okay. Somebody find something you know about?
Because I had a bullet in my pocket, but it wasn't like, it's not like I'm planning anything.
So this guy just introduces that he has a couple of rounds in his pocket. Maybe one of them fell out. Kind of a normal thing when you're sitting down. Crap falls out of my pockets all the time. Me and my wallet have a pretty bad relationship. So anyways, the cops pull him out. They take him into an office and they decide to search him at this point.
It brings a concern up in the air. Hey, can you put that Gatorade down real quick? Yeah, I know. I don't know what it was. Yeah, that'd be nice. So you had 2 bullets in this one?
These are yours?
Right here. Okay, we'll get there, Okay.
Literally, if I thought I was doing anything wrong, I wouldn't bring...
I got you. You just know in today's day and age you can never be too safe, right?
Yeah.
Now the superintendent or the principal of the school is a real fairy on this. I mean, he's giving him attitude. Well, I didn't ask you what kind of gun it was. He's just an innocent kid, law-abiding gun owner. I mean, seriously, if it was that big of a crime to have rounds in your pocket, I would have been far gone at this point as far as being in prison. I find them in my laundry, I find them everywhere. You never had a range day, guys? So then we get into the cops actually talking to him about why he has a gun.
While speaking to officers, Rosen says he's worried about school shootings and keeps a gun, quote, because it's comfortable.
I know why it would raise a concern, but I'm really scared about that stuff, like school shooters too. I'm like very, it makes me anxious too that anyone can just walk into school and shoot it up. So I'm like, you worried about that? Yeah, I worry about that stuff a lot sometimes.
So at this point, you're not explaining anything away. So it would have been a great time to just not say anything, but he gives a lot of information. Well, I got a .22 in my car, which once again is not illegal. It's your property, right? Now, in Ohio, I'm not sure about the laws surrounding it, but he didn't bring this gun into the school. This is in his vehicle. So once he introduces the fact that he has brought a gun with him in his vehicle. Once again, they don't know that. They have no idea a gun is involved at this point. All they have found is a .22 caliber bullet on the ground in one of the classrooms. There is not a vehicle involved. He does not have to offer that information. He does not have to say anything about a gun. He can just say, look, I had a couple of rounds in my pocket, went to the range, sorry. But no, he tells them that there's a gun in his car.
Is there a gun in your car right now?
Yeah.
So without asking, without understanding what a Fourth Amendment is, they say, well, we're just going to search your vehicle.
Let's go out.
So you'll stay.
Yeah. They're in my bag.
Police officers walk to the parking lot and find a .22 caliber rifle sitting in the back seat with additional ammunition.
It's not a traffic stop. They didn't pull him over. The car is completely removed at this point. The gun is not in the school, but he's like, okay, seems like I have no choice here. So they go outside, they pull out this little lever action .22, and they spend about 5 minutes trying to take it apart. It's hot, they believe, and they're being really not good gun handlers with this thing.
See if this goes up there.
148.
Is there not a...
It's way skinnier than the bottom.
What the
So then this kid starts talking to the cops more, and they're trying to get as much information out as possible, which is fine. I understand it from both sides. The cops have to do their job on a possible school shooter or whatever the principal and the superintendent is saying. But also, this kid has rights, so they've got to respect those, and he also has to be accountable for his own rights. So then they go into talking about why he brings a gun, and he's very honest. He feels safer with it.
Is this been something that's been going on a long time? Are you just hyper aware of the news and what's going on around you?
I carry it around with me because it's extra safety caution. I know that if I have it, I don't have to worry about being attacked or anything like that.
And that's honestly what they're meant to do. They make you feel safe. They make you feel secure. You can defend yourself. Now, the next part's kind of funny because I would have had the best response to the police officer saying, well, how often do you think police are accurate, especially those who are trained?
In this country, how accurate do you think that law enforcement officers are in this country, percentage-wise? If I had to ask you, what do you think? When a law enforcement officer that's trained to use a firearm shoots a round, how often do you think that round hits its intended target? 20%.
As much as it should.
20%.
What I would have responded with is, have you heard of Uvalde? You're doing all of this because you were questioning this kid's judgment, right? So whether he brought the gun to protect himself, to stop a mass shooter, or if he just keeps one in his vehicle for protection, you're questioning his motives behind being a participating member of our Second Amendment. He could do the same with a response to a mass shooting. If he is under the impression that every police department is going to be like Uvalde when a school shooting happens, I don't blame it. So long story short, the principal has a meltdown and he ends up getting suspended for this. And he literally says, the problem is not me bringing a gun. It's the fact that I dropped a bullet.
Well, the problem wasn't bringing the gun. The problem was I dropped the bullet in the hallway. That was the problem.
Now, that's negligent on his end because you are in a school and people are kind of uptight about what's going on in school. So any kind of weird scenario like that where they find a bullet, yeah, man, you're going to be probably talked to and somewhat investigated. So this is where it kind of gets a little bit odd to me because we're all humans and police are able to usually figure out what this situation calls for. This detective says that he is about to be charged. Can't name off a charge. The kid's saying there's no statute on it. And the charge is for bringing a gun in a safe zone.
Basically what I'm telling you is we're going to end up charging you, okay? And you're 18 years old.
There's no law against that. Bringing a gun on the school property, there's no law. There's no statute.
I'm telling you there is.
It's a policy, not a law.
Now, I'm not sure about the laws in Ohio, but I do know that if you have the gun in your vehicle, you're not in a safe zone. You're not in a gun zone. You're not in any of those. It's in your vehicle. It's your property, which means that as long as it's not removed from your vehicle, it's not in that zone. And if for some reason that is a law that you can't drive into a parking lot with a gun in your vehicle, that's nuts to me. Because you're not inserting it into the situation. It's in your vehicle. So they end up cuffing this kid, and he gets arrested and charged for this. But as far as the entirety of this situation, if someone's just exercising their Second Amendment right, and not even fully exercising it, he didn't bring it into the school, didn't exit his vehicle, it was in his vehicle in the parking lot, made him feel safe. I don't really see a problem with that. So I don't agree with the felony gun charge for this kid, but we live in a day and age where people who don't commit crimes with guns do prison time.